and May are going to read us a story. This is a story that children wanted to have read to you. There's two mics. Would that help? Come on up here. I think, yeah. If you hold that, and you can each stand at one microphone, and you can use that as your podium. Does that work?
Okay, the book that the children wanted to share today is Ordinary Mary's Extraordinary Deed. Ordinary Mary was so very ordinary that you'd never guess she could change the world. This ordinary kid, she did. She changed the world. One ordinary day, skipping on her way from her ordinary school to her ordinary house, she passed an ordinary vacant lot filled with ordinary bushes growing ordinary berries, ordinary blue and juicy, luscious, lovely berries. Well, Ordinary Mary picked the ordinary berries and brought them in a big brown bowl to Mrs. Bishop's porch. What? Left berries in a big brown bowl on Mrs. Bishop's porch? That sneaky kid she did.
This made Mrs. Bishop very, very happy. So she baked a batch of blueberry muffins and thought of 5 people who might have brought those beautiful berries and secretly gave each a plate. How great! 5 people got a plate.
One of those 5 people was her paper boy, Billy Parker, and when Billy saw his name on a note in the driveway on a plate, he quickly parked his bike and ate every crumb. Oh, yum, 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 he ate every crumb. This made him so glad that the next 5 people got their papers on the porch and not in the bushes where he often threw them. In fact, they were handed right to them.
One of those 5 was Mr. Morey, who was so amazed that he smiled for 10 hours on the airplane and then said to 5 different people who had heavy bags, "Here, let me help you." He still smiled, and they did too.
One of those 5 was Mario, whose cranky little boy James stopped crying when Mr. Morey played peekaboo with him until their ride came.
When he waved goodbye, Mario exclaimed, "How strange that a stranger would be so kind." And the next day, when he was out shopping, once, twice, 5 times, he did something nice for 5 different people, 5 times without stopping.
One of those 5 people was Joseph, old and bent and gray, in front of him in line at the produce stand. When he said, "I guess I counted wrong, I don't really need these oranges," little James reached out to him with an orange from their basket, and Mario put a coin in Joseph's hand and said, "Here, take this. Oranges are on us."
As Joseph shuffled to the bus, his heart was full and his eyes were wet, and his hands did helpful things for the next 5 people he met. One of those 5 was Sarah, a girl from college who was off to see the world and stopped at Joseph's shop. When her bag broke and her things fell all over the floor, she said, "Oh, what will I do?" Joseph said, "This is for you." She gave her a new bag woven with his own hands in red and purple and green. "Oh, thank you," she said. "It's the loveliest bag I've ever seen." When Sarah left, she felt sunny as noon, and she just had to shine on 5 people soon.
One of those 5 was Sophia, whom she met on a boat looking like the world might end, looking like somebody without a friend. "What beautiful blue eyes you have," Sahar said, "and they're just the color of the flowers in your lovely dress." "Yes," said Sophia. "Oh, yes," said Sahar. The beautiful blue eyes shed a happy tear, and when the boat trip was through, Sophia called 5 people to make them happy too.
One of those 5 was Tom, her son the doctor, who was having a very hard day. "Hi," she said. "I love you, Tom." "Well, how great to hear your voice," he sighed. "I always need my mom." Dr. Tom was so cheered that on his next break, he bought a big bunch of bright balloons for 5 young patients, and he handed them out right then and there.
One of those 5 was Peter, a little boy who went home from the hospital that very day. Gratitude for the big bunch of bright balloons filled him and thrilled him and spilled out of him and onto the next 5 people who came his way.
One of those 5 was Eric, a teenage boy whose sacks were way too much. When one dropped on the sidewalk, Peter stopped his play and rushed right over to say, "Super Wheels to the rescue." Well, Eric, no longer stressed, was very impressed and made a mental note that very afternoon to help 5 people and to do it soon.
One of those 5 was Dee, his 10-year-old sister who didn't have many friends and was painfully shy. When Eric said, "Hey sis, want to come to the park and learn how to ride my skateboard?" she looked at him wide-eyed. "Serious?" she cried. "Sure," he said, and because of her brother, Dee decided maybe she could be a friend to another 5 others.
One of those 5 was Louise, a homeless woman who lived under the trees. She could hardly believe her ears when she heard Dee say, "May my brother and I buy you a hot dog and a drink at that stand over there?" Could it be true? Someone actually cared enough to give her food and a smiley-faced ring that was practically new? Louise was so pleased that she decided that even though she had nothing, she would find 5 others and give them something.
One of those 5 was Amara, who lost her wallet in the park. Louise found it full of 5s and 10s and 20s. Oh, what she could do with all that money. But she found Amara's name and called her home, and over she came. Amara was so impressed that Louise was honest when money was something she clearly needed, that she offered her a job in her store and vowed to do something generous for 5 people or more.
One of those 5 was Kate, a woman on vacation who wanted to show she'd heard was a sensation. "Oh no," she said, "it's sold out, but I'm going home tomorrow," and her face was filled with sorrow. Amara held out her ticket. "I live here," she said. "I can go any time. Take mine." Kate loved the show and was so touched that she thought buying 5 presents for 5 people back home would be really fun.
And one of those 5 presents was a little heart necklace for Mary, her niece, and you should have seen her eyes light up in surprise.
Mary? What? Ordinary Mary? Yes, Ordinary Mary's extraordinary deed had come full circle, and on its way it had changed the lives of every person living. You see, when Mrs. Bishop made muffins from Mary's blueberries, not only did the paperboy Billy Parker, but the 4 other people too made 5 people smile, and those 5 did too. And after a while, only 16 days, love was sent to every person everywhere. Just see how it went. One, 5, 25, on and on, all the way to 30 billion people.
Thank you so much, May and Claire. Beautiful book, right? All right, the next thing we have is Zen has prepared some remarks, some reflections on his ideas about love.
Thank you. Does this go?
The whole thing moves.
Oh, does it?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, that might work. You can also like,
Oh, okay. I see.
so my 2 cents is. Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm going to have to log into my computer because our printer ran out of ink at the wrong time. I feel so high tech. All right. I feel even more high tech. All right. So earlier this week, I was given a prompt that said to write about what it meant to, quote, stand in love. It confused me as I had never heard the phrase used before, so I did what anybody else in the century would do, and I turned to Google. All that did was leave me even more puzzled and lost at what this phrase meant. As I read through some suburban mom's blog on the difference between standing in love and falling in love, I realized what I should have known to start with the whole time. Love is what we make of it. Love is what we create. Love is the unlimited ability to fill someone else's life with joy and fulfillment in senses not material, but sentimental and kind. But with that said, love does not always have to come in big acts. Love is something that we are able to show with the smallest things that can show others that you care about them. It is so easy for us to forget that there are people out there that care about us, and the thing is, it's even easier to forget that there are people out there just like us that feel the exact same way and need someone to appreciate them. It brings up the well-known phrase, hurt people hurt people. The phrase tells us how if we let people feel unloved in this world, feel that sense of abandonment by those that surround them, that leads to a feeling of worthlessness, a feeling that no one should ever have to feel. As I wrote this last night, I was reminded of one of my favorite Bible verses from Book 1 of Corinthians, chapter 13, verses 4 through 7. And it says, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always preserves." This shows in the simplest way that love means what love is. Love knows no bounds, and it never has, and holds no grudges. Love is apologetic and understanding. We all have the ability to love and to show others how much we care about them and recognize them for who they are. Love has forever done nothing but good. Hate has never done anything but bad, both for the man hated and the man that hates. It takes the courage to love, to understand and accept. But the courage it takes to love is one that each and every one of us has. So the next time someone cuts you off in traffic on the way to the food city or takes the last swing at the park, even though they know you wanted it, know that it starts with one person that drives out hate with love. And every new dawn, every new day, we have the opportunity to be that person. Thank you.
Beautifully done, Zen. Thank you so much for that reflection. All right, as we start to circle, heading towards home here, lots of days in RE involve a craft. And we have a simple craft for you today. My young friends, if you could make sure everyone in this room gets a popsicle stick and a marker. What we're hoping you'll do in this moment is we came up with this idea over many, many, many different reflections, and I think ultimately it was Noah that was like, let's put hearts on popsicle sticks and plant a love garden. And I was like, yes, let's do that. So you're all about to get a popsicle stick with a heart that has been glued to the top, and you're all about to get a marker. And what we hope you will do is write something on that heart, which is just cardstock up there, something that you could remind yourself of as you think back on Ordinary Mary's ordinary great deeds and how her one simple act of picking blueberries and anonymously dropping them on someone's porch, and how that spread love ultimately to over, Claire, 3 billion people? 30 billion people. What is the one thing you could do this week, thinking about what Zen shared and Ordinary Mary? What is your ordinary, love-filled deed of the week? And we would like you to think of and it could be as simple as Zen said. It could be, I will make sure that the kiddo who wants the swing, that I don't take the swing from them. Or when I get cut off in traffic, I'm going to shoot them an I love you sign rather than a different sign, right? What is your ordinary deed? And could you write it on that heart? And could we invite you, as you head home, to plant that someplace in your house where you can see it? Could be in a garden This is made of paper and glue, however, so if it's in your garden and the weather continues as it has, just know it will do what paper does in the rain. It could be you plant it in, I'm thinking of planting one in my little cup that has my pens in it, that's right by my desk. It could be planted in a house plant. What is the one kind deed you think you could remind yourself to do? And then we're going to let you take this with you and plant it somewhere. And if you can't come up with that deed right now, that's okay. There's no pressure. We're not going to run around and collect these right away. But no, we're hoping you'll do that. And maybe you'll even share with each other as we go to the latter parts of our service what we plan to do for the week, what our kindness is. Do any of my young people in the room want to share what their kindness is they're thinking of this week? Awesome, Noah. Come grab this mic.
I'll try and make someone smile this week.
Beautiful. Any of my other young friends want to share? Or and my friends of any age, if you'd like to share.
There is a lovely group of freshmen in the school choir who are often very annoying, and I know they have their own problems, and I'm going to try to show grace to the annoying freshmen this week. Not Zen.
I'm going to offer a hand to a teacher who needs it.
I'm going to pass this to Waylon.
I wrote that I will love myself.
Beautiful. Anyone else want to share their deed? Again, friends of all ages can share their deed. Right over there, Claire. Thank you for getting on the mic.
I will smile when my husband is grumpy.
Patience with politicians who think differently.
Mm-hmm. Maybe everyone can plant that one in a garden.
I will collect a bag of litter on the Virginia Creeper Trail.
Beautiful. Notice all these great ideas we're getting from each other, right? I find myself thinking, I'm going to smile and be kind to freshmen and have grace with politicians and pick up garbage. I can do all those things. One back there. And then we'll move on to our final activity.
I will listen and let you be heard.
Beautiful. All right, the last thing we wanted to do was we had this crazy idea that even though many of us in this room are older than many who hang out with me each week in the RE room, that we want to give you something tangible that you can remember as you go forward this summer, right? It's the last time you'll see all of us together before the summer. And they decided together that they wanted to make all of you a bracelet. And they have made all of you a bracelet. And Waylon has done the lion's share of that work. And Waylon has also written some words about why she made the bracelets, which she'd very much like my daughter Lottie to read. But we're going to pass this basket around. And here's our crazy ask. We want you to pick out the bracelet that talks to you today, right? Whatever it may be, whatever those colors are. And we're going to ask you to wear it if you can, whenever you feel so moved this summer, and think about these beautiful children in this beautiful congregation and the love they wanted to share with you. Lottie, can you share Waylon's words about why she did this?
Waylon's words, not mine. Hello, everyone. I made these friendship bracelets out of rubber bands because I believe that just like the bands, we are all connected in our Unitarian Universalist community. Each band represents a unique individual, and when we come together, we create something beautiful and strong, just like these bracelets. In our church, we celebrate diversity and inclusion, and these bracelets symbolize the strength that comes from embracing our differences and weaving them together into a vibrant tapestry of love and support. I hope that whenever you wear these bracelets, you'll be reminded of the bonds we share as a congregation and the importance of standing together in solidarity and kindness. Thank you.
Great. As Waylon finishes handing out those bracelets, Claire, if you could start to get ready to lead us in our final song. The kiddos also, as they did last year, as we move into the after the service part, they have a lemonade stand and a bake sale planned right now. They've decided, they thought long and hard all year about what cause they wanted to benefit, and they decided, like last year, they'd like any funds that they raise today to benefit the Isaiah 117 house that is planned for Washington County. If you're not familiar with that cause, it's a home that exists to help young people, kiddos, as they're in between sort of the bureaucracy of needing to find a safe home to be in until they're placed. So before or without a house like this one, if a kiddo needs to be taken out of their home for whatever reason, they might have to sleep in an office or sleep on a bench outside of a social worker's office. This house and the volunteers that serve it instead have a beautiful home tricked out with beds and all of the kids' favorite snacks and toys, and gives them a really wonderful place to be and to land until the local community is able to find them a safe and loving home to be in. For the Isaiah 117 house, I'm truly not aware, but I could get you that information if you're curious. It's in the fund. They have a plot of land bought at this point. I believe they've not yet started to build the house, but it's a charity that exists. I don't know if it's fully nationwide, but regionally, and we're hoping to get one here in Washington County. The thing they do, which I think is terribly fun, is they ask kiddos all over the community to hold lemonade stands to benefit it, and I think it's just a lovely way for kiddos to raise money in the age-old way that kiddos can, selling lemonade, right, to benefit other kiddos. Let me also say that if you don't have any funds with you today, you are just welcome to enjoy lemonade and baked goods with or without a donation to the larger cause. The kiddos will be outside to offer, a donation for those things, or if you just want to enjoy some lemonade and cookies with kids, that would be fine as well.